What is up, everybody? Here we are. Catalyst Gunship has come out today. I've obviously already made a little video for intro to the Catalyst Gunship, but now we're going to have some gameplay. This is going to be a pure gameplay video. I'm just going to be trying out various decks with the Catalyst Gunship, and we're going to see how it goes. So this is the first one we're going to try out. The idea behind this deck is we have the chems and the gunship, and we're going to open barracks so we have access to our chems early, and then we can combo them with the gunship. That's kind of what we're going for here. We then have bikes for killing light air, and we have mutants for heavy anti-vehicle. We're going to see how this goes.
New objective available.
I'm Seth. Just Seth.
Building online.
Alright, so we're opening rifle.
Unit ready.
Kenny also has rifles. He's taking up position pads. I'm gonna push in 2v1 here, at least force him off. We're just gonna go early chems. Against GDI you wouldn't be able to go early chems because of Razorback punishing you, but against Nod I think it's okay. Well, maybe he has the Catalyst Gunship though, and then it'll be a problem. We'll have to wait and see. Alright, there is the Catalyst Gunship, so we have to go bikes now. Now the interesting thing about the gunship is you have to avoid clouds when going up against the gunship. So it's actually pretty good against chemical units. Because it can blow up units that are in clouds, you have to be careful not to go into piles that have clouds, or you run the risk of the gunship blowing you up. So I think that's pretty interesting. Like here you see, if I stay in that cloud, he can blow up my chems, and that's bad. Alright, so I'm going to switch into gunship as well. I also want access to my air. And he's gone for a tank, which makes sense. I think one of the weaknesses of the gunship is things like bikes. So having access to things like tanks to prevent you from that, save you from that weakness is pretty good. We're going to get his bikes here with the explosion. Amazing, lol. He wasn't paying attention. This is another cool thing about the gunship is you can get these cute combos going. Like, if people aren't paying attention, you can really get them with the gunship. Right, so we're going to go in and we're going to try and cloud his bikes. And then use the gunship. Sadly, the gunship went down immediately. Oh, switch Phantom, take out his gunship. Get our mutants up here. And I want to get another gunship to go with my chems. Gunship again. Take this down. And, I do need to get our gunship up here to kill his flamers. Very, very good versus flamers. That's actually like the thing that's absolutely best against. Right, nice. So we do take the game. But yeah, flamers and shocks it's amazing against because it one-shots each model. There's only 3 shots for the entire squad.
Objective complete. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so second game, we're now on a triple war factory rifle opening deck. Now we're just splashing the Catalyst Gunship as our secondary anti-infantry. Now, there's some big issues with this deck. One of the biggest issues with this deck is if you lose the rifle war in the early game, you probably have to go into your air tower, which isn't what you want to do. You want to go into your war factory instead. So I think generally this deck doesn't make any sense and will probably be bad. And it'll definitely be very weak early game. Because going into this and then you won't have access to any of these units is really bad. So we'll have to see how it goes. But because I'm ahead in the middle, it's actually working out alright at the moment. Because I won the rifle war, I can switch. I don't have to counter his rifles. But interestingly, he left the cloud there. I don't know if that was because he wanted to run away from the stealth tank or if he was hoping to explode it on the stealth tank. It's unclear to me. Probably should. I should have played Seth actually. Now that I'm looking at this, yeah, I definitely should have played Seth. That was a big misplay. Yeah. This sucks. I can't catch this gunship. And I don't have an answer to these flamers without going into my air tower. So yeah, my predictions of the weaknesses of this deck are immediately coming true. It's just impossible for me to deal with infantry in the early game. I have to go triple building before I can do anything. Let the stealth tank shoot the scorpion. I'm just gonna have a bit of a war factory now. And the cloud bugged out there and just didn't appear, which was pretty awkward for me because I would have killed the bikes with it if it had been there. Sometimes when the unit you're targeting moves, the cloud just doesn't spawn. One of those, it's another big issue with. All right, so yeah, this deck wasn't good at all. This deck was just very bad.
Mission failed.
Alright, so now we're going to play a classic Fanatic aggro 5-card deck just with a Catalyst Gunship Splash. This is a fine deck because the first 5 units just is a functional deck. So then once you can play whatever you want as your last unit after the first 5 units. Now normally this last unit should actually be a heavy anti-vehicle unit because this deck is going to be very, very weak to tanks. We actually have we really have very little answer to a proper tank unit. So again, just really difficult to make a deck that plays the gunship because you really want to play Fanatics as Nod at the moment because they're the best unit in the game pretty much. But you can't play Fanatics. Where is it? Why am I? Yeah, you can't play Fanatics and Catalyst Gunship really because they're both anti-infantry. So you don't want to have 2 anti-infantry units in your deck, like 2 tier 2 anti-infantry units in your deck. You want to have 1 tier 1, which is the wheel, and then 1 tier 2, which is the Fanatics. Then also playing the gunship doesn't really make sense. The metagame also revolves heavily around vehicles and aircraft, and doesn't contain that much infantry that needs to be removed. So having a big anti-infantry unit isn't that important. What you want to be able to kill is missiles. That's the infantry unit you want to be able to kill the most. And the gunship isn't actually that good against missiles. Because it takes 6 seconds to kill them, which is about the same time as a Venom. So you see the cloud again doesn't spawn. If the target is moving and the target moves away from you, the cloud just won't. Which is, again, a problem for the unit because a lot of its power comes from that cloud. Alright, so let's go after the base with the gunship. Show off what it does to the base. So here's the cloud, there's the explosion. It really doesn't do that much base damage, honestly. It's kind of weak to the base.
Enemy base destroyed.
Okay, so now we're playing a deck suggested by Catship. We've got Laser Chem, Wheel Stealth Tank, Laser Drone, Catalyst Gunship. So because we're against Nod, we're going to be opening Laser Drones. Opening Wheels and having access to only Stealth Tank after opening Wheels is insane. So we're going to open with the Laser Drones. So here we have Laser Drone and Catalyst Gunship. Again, the problem with Catalyst Gunship is it's a tier 2 anti-infantry unit that doesn't dominate lasers. That is the primary reason to use one anti-infantry units for in this game is to kill lasers. Like most of the time, that is what you're looking for from your anti-infantry, just to kill lasers. And this thing just isn't that good versus lasers. Like it costs 50 and it's going to trade for 2 lasers. It might actually die to the second laser. Yeah, like that's just really bad. It killed 1.5 lasers. It cost 50 and it died to 40 cost of lasers, which it's supposed to counter. Like that's what it's supposed to be good versus. So yeah, the unit is just, this is why the unit isn't very good in my opinion. It just doesn't kill lasers, which is what you actually want to kill. Alright, so we've had to go barracks now, and obviously our barracks is very late. Now we have no anti-air, because the way this deck is built, we have no anti-air until we open our war factory. So we have to go 3 buildings just to fight his 2 buildings, which is horrible. And we can't afford a stealth tank for ages either. Like, we're going to need another 40 before we can make a stealth tank. So we're going to lose our chems while we're waiting for the stealth tank. Alright, so we finally get a stealth tank out. And now we still can't kill lasers. And the game is almost over at this point. We've only just managed to open all of our buildings and we're about to lose the game because it's just like we have no power in this deck. The deck is just like inherently flawed. So yeah, obviously, really just not a close game at all. This deck is unplayable, like actually unplayable.
Our base has been destroyed. 3, 2, 1.
All right, so now we're playing Kenny's deck. This is rifle, laser, bike, tank, gunship, phantom. I think this is a pretty reasonable deck.
Militia here. No stop. What's needed?
Unit ready.
Unbelievers will suffer. Kill the unbelievers.
So we're gonna obviously open rifles.
Kill the unbelievers. Brothers,
Now I believe we're looking to gunship at some point to fight rifles, which is obviously not great. But yeah, that's what we're probably going to end up doing.
Offline.
advancing. We're ready to serve.
Unit ready.
Militia here. Support cannon.
So I think it's quite important to try and win the rifle war here. Losing the rifle war would mean I have to switch into Catalyst Gunship, at which point I'm weak to him making bikes.
Suffer. Bring them to their knees.
Especially on a map like this where I have no good way to control the map with the gunship. Alright, so we are going to make the gunship and see how it does. Not even that good against rifles, well, which is a good... And there's already a phantom, oh my god. Okay, so our gunship is utterly worthless. I guess we'll make a phantom to mirror. So we're probably just going to end up trading phantoms here. Yeah, he goes bikes, I go bikes. Both going to try and kill each other's phantom with the bikes. There's some mutants. Alright, so mutants is something the Catalyst Gunship is actually good against. That's exciting. Yeah, we can't chase it. We can't chase the mutants down because of the phantom. We can't get through these bikes either. Alright, so there goes the gunship again. This is the problem with the Catalyst Gunship, what you're witnessing here, which is that your opponents can simply retreat from it, and you cannot chase them very well. Now, against things like Chemical Buggy, the gunship has some extra game because there's so many clouds on the map. But like your opponent can simply retreat from the gunship over and over is one of the biggest issues. I feel a little bit like Omelete's not trying here, to be honest with you. He just went double harvested for some reason as well. I didn't really feel like he wanted that missile.
Combustion flying out. Give them all the brotherhood.
Unit offline. Unit offline.
There's the bug with the cloud again. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what Omelette is doing here, to be honest. It kind of feels like he's just messing around.
Our base is under attack.
He's trying to kill the base with the chem buggy plus the gunship, but it's not even that effective, honestly.
Mission accomplished. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so we're playing this rifle, laser, bike, and Catalyst Gunship,
Harvester ready.
Phantom deck.
Unit ready.
Position.
So we're going to start the game with rifles, and then we're probably going to go into Catalyst Gunship.
Unit ready.
Bring them to their knees. Advancing.
See what our opponent does first.
Militia here. We're ready. Let's go. Let's go.
As he's gone Razorback. I guess we have to go Phantom to answer that.
We're ready. No stopping.
Deck doesn't, I mean, I could go Bikes, but Bikes aren't great. Bikes are traditionally not very good against Razorback.
Unit ready.
We're going to go Phantom.
Missile cancelled. Missile launched.
Then we'll see what he does next.
Unit offline.
the move.
Alright, so he's got rifles that fit this Catalyst gunship out. Pitbull, which is one of the natural predators of the gunship. While we have Scorpion in our deck. What we can do is we can wait until the cloud's about to fire and then retarget the Pitbull and half kill it with the explosion. If the explosion did more damage to vehicles, like if you could just one-shot things like Pitbull, obviously the unit would at that point probably be too good. But then it would be, there'd be like a lot more, you know, reason to play this thing. The way it currently works, I just don't see a use for it, unfortunately. Oops. I need to suicide my Catalyst gunship. That was a misplay. I think the issue with the Catalyst gunship is simply that the metagame does not revolve around heavy infantry. It revolves around light infantry. And this thing is good against heavy infantry, and there just isn't very much heavy infantry to fight.
Objective complete.
Alright, so now we're going to play a Chemical Buggy Catalyst Gunship deck. So our goal here is going to be to play this in the same fashion that you would play a Mutants Chuggy deck. So what we're going to try and do is get the gunship in position and then have the Chem Buggy go along, like go through it, to create clouds for the gunship to kill vehicles. That's going to be the intent. Problem is that you have to build a Chemical Buggy and a Catalyst Gunship to fight vehicles. So you need a 110 cost combo to fight vehicles. And neither of those units fights the vehicles on its own. Like, the thing about the Mutant Chuggy is at least you can force vehicles back with the mutants. Can't do that with this combo, because neither of the units actually does anything to vehicles on its own. So we're going to try and do this. Here comes the Catalyst Gunship. We're going to try and get a cloud on these bikes and blow them up. Alright, so there we go. We've done that. Obviously, again, we can only be in one position at a time, so we can't stop him from just doing this. We need both our units together to pull off this combo, which is just insanely awkward. There we get a cloud and we kill those bikes. Alright. Again, if we lose either part of the combo, then vehicles become a huge problem for us. It's a very expensive combo to rebuild. I think this combo might. Wow, we didn't even get the explosion there. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of awkward, and this only works. This doesn't work against air either. As soon as an air unit comes out, yeah, as soon as an air unit comes out, we're screwed. So this is not looking great, honestly. It's a very awkward combo to pull off, and it's not even that effective when you do. Chemical Warriors. I'm actually going to let him put a cloud down, so that if he walks in here, I'm going to blow up his chems because there's a cloud there. Alright, well, I didn't actually kill them, so that was kind of sad. Alright, we did manage to take out those chems. We don't take the missile anyway. I'm just ending up using bikes as my anti-vehicle because this combo doesn't work basically. Combo is too awkward to assemble, and then isn't even that efficient when you do. Turning into quite a silly game. Like I'm just about gonna take it. Yeah, that was a bit of a cluster, to be honest. It wasn't. I don't know, weird deck. Alright, so now we're playing, this is like a classic Jade deck, but we've got Catalyst Gunship instead of laser drones. Obviously it doesn't fill the same role that laser drones do, so I'm not sure it's going to work out, but we'll give it a go. Alright, so Catship open buggy, so we're going to have to go bikes for...
Building online.
Actually being a little bit too aggressive with buggy. Yeah, he gets shot by the bikes here. Well, the problem with this deck is normally this deck beats tanks by making laser drones. But we don't have laser drones, we have gunship instead. So now if my opponent makes a tank to kill my bikes, I don't really have an answer to it. Gonna get Chem Warriors. There's a Shade. Beat Shades, we have Phantoms, not that weak to Shade. We actually only really have bikes that are bad versus Shade. Shade's not a problem. Alright, so now we want to try and get the gunship to combo with our Chem Warriors. We're gonna go attack the Harvester, I think, with our combo. There's an enemy gunship, so we need to run away from that. Block with ours. Boost the gunship, and then we'll go after it. So we should be able to kill the Harvester relatively quickly here with the explosions. Yeah, nice. And then we're going to start attacking the base just for fun. It doesn't really do that much, honestly. You can see the combo honestly isn't that effective against the base. I don't have Jade, so he can ignore this Chem Warrior. It's not actually a threat. Okay, I guess we'll make a Phantom here. Then I want to get a Catalyst Gunship to combo with this Chemical Warrior. Let's see how I can do against this buggy as well. Can't kill it in one shot. Still takes 2 explosions, take down a buggy. You can see with the boost and the chemical unit, it's pretty effective. Like it can do quite a lot of stuff when you have it boosted and a chemical unit, because a chemical unit puts a cloud down like once every second or so, and this thing fires once every 2 seconds. So if you have the boost, and it's firing once every, like, not once every second, but a lot closer, so you can get a lot of explosions. So if you can get a chem unit and a Catalyst Gunship boosted, then you can do a lot of damage. But that is a lot of things you need to put together to make that happen. And even then, you're only fighting ground unit. Alright, so now we're playing a deck suggested by Betterway. We've got Rifle Scav, Bike Stealth Tank, Catalyst Gunship, and Cyborg. So again, we're very weak to tanks in the early game. We have nothing until Cyborg that can actually fight a tank. Honestly, Cyborg isn't that good versus tank either, because the tank can just run away. Like, Raider units, you need to be able to chase them down at some point, and Cyborg can't do that. We also have Scavengers that are weaker than lasers. Scavengers are just a really bad unit, honestly. Like, they're just not good right now, ever since they got nerfed. The idea is clearly to make money with Scavengers, but most of the time Scavengers end up making 10, which means they cost the same as lasers, and performed worse than them. Sometimes 20, but like if you ever make 0 with your Scavenger, it was absolutely horrendous. Alright, so he's gone Chem Buggy, so bikes. Walking into our concave, which against lasers, that would be very bad. I don't know how it works against Scavengers. Looks like it's pretty bad against Scavenger as well. I'm actually going to leave the Scavenger here in the cloud to die, so I get the 10. One I would rather not lose right away. Alright, try and get the 10 again. And we'll go stealth tank to kill the gunship. Right, so we're pretty broke as well right now. There's a tank. We don't really have an answer tank. We have to use stealth tank plus scavengers, I guess, and just hope that he drives into us. If he just runs away, we can't catch him. We've got this gunship, which we haven't had any reason to make yet, because he hasn't made an infantry. Then we got cyborgs. So I guess we'll try and go cyborgs now. Cyborgs are not good units. They're expensive. They cost 130 and they're not very good, basically. Like, they're worse than zone troopers despite costing 10 more. People who have watched my previous videos will know that I really hate cyborgs. Cyborgs do crush Catalyst gunship though, so I can just walk into this gunship, it's not a problem. I'm trying to save up for another cyborg, but it's insanely expensive. It's just such a bad unit. It's honestly such a terrible unit. Take some bikes here. Basically just gonna bike spam. So we win the game. There we go.
Objective complete. 3, 2, 1. New objective.
Alright, so now we're trying a triple air deck with chems and bikes. It's better than the one we had, which had wheels and stealth tank. But again, the issue is this doesn't beat lasers. So if your opponent opens barracks and you open laser drones, it's really bad. If you open laser drone and your opponent opens war factory, like has happened here, if they're GDI, you're in trouble because like laser drones don't beat GDI war factory. So this will work if your opponent is nod and opens war factory. If they're GDI, you can't open air tower against GDI. And if they're nod and open barracks, you can't open laser drones against barracks either. So I think there's just fundamental issues with a deck of this nature. Because laser drones just isn't a very good opening most of the time. Catalyst gunship simply isn't efficient enough against barracks. Right, so our opponent is just spamming bikes at the moment, which obviously laser drone spam is pretty good against. So it's going fine so far. I'm gonna build my barracks. They're going into lasers, although we don't need to, because if he just keeps making bikes, we can just keep making laser drones. But we're never gonna make a catalyst gunship in this spot. I assume he has Phantom. Yeah, there it is. It would be weird for a deck to play. It looks like he doesn't have lasers in his deck, but not having Phantom. If you don't have lasers, you basically have to play Phantom in your deck. Essentially impossible. Like any nod deck that doesn't have laser or Phantom is just always going to lose to laser drones and shades. So we switch into bikes because he has this Phantom now. There's some mutants. Alright, so now we have a reason to make a catalyst gunship. Of course, there is a Phantom on the field, so it's quite difficult to use catalyst gunship efficiently. But we will make one and see if we can get something to happen with it. Gonna make another one and go after these. Yeah, I mean, I barely killed the mutants before the Phantom took down the catalyst gunship. Dying in one volley to Phantoms is a pretty awkward place to be in this metagame. Like, dying in one Phantom or stealth tank volley. Obviously, everything in the air dies in one stealth tank volley. But I misspoke, I didn't mean to say that. But dying in one volley to Phantom is an awkward place to be. Okay, so now we're playing a Kane deck with gunship. I think this deck makes some sense. These two buildings covers most things, and then we have a gunship, basically. It's very similar to playing the Fanatic 5-card deck, and then you just have a gunship in your deck. But we also have the chems and the gunship, and we have Kane as our out to tanks. So, although this sounds a little weird, and I agree it's a little weird, but it makes some sense. We could potentially beat tanks with Kane. That's a thing we can maybe do. So yeah, although this deck is weak to tank, I think the ability to use Kane as the missiles firing to kill tanks, that might work out. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. I don't even know if my opponent has tank. If my opponent doesn't have tank, then obviously that weakness doesn't exist. Alright, so there's some lasers. Normally I'd want to make cat gunship, but I haven't got the money, and it's actually not very good against lasers. I'm not going to. I'm gonna make militants, but it looks like we just win this missile. We'll make some chem troopers as well. This is the other problem with the cat gunship. Like, if you look at my board state, right, like if you look at what I have access to, what is my reasoning for building a catalyst gunship? I guess I want to break chem mirrors. So if the chemical warrior mirror was a thing that happened very regularly in Rivals, then I could definitely see the catalyst gunship being a unit you want to play. But that's just not that common a fight. Like, it doesn't happen that often. You don't play chemical warrior mirrors that regularly. If you are playing chemical warrior mirrors all the time, then, you know, that sounds great. The catalyst gunship is probably the unit for you, because it is very good against chemical units because of the clouds that get left behind all the time. It didn't move my gunship in time because I clicked my unit when I was trying to. So I think that chemical warriors is one of the things where gunship is actually pretty decent. It does kill chemical warriors quite quickly. It kills them in about 6 seconds, which is not bad. Uh-oh. I think I messed up, guys. I should have caned. Should have used the obelisk here. Yeah, I think I've messed it up. I definitely should have used the obelisk. Alright, so hopefully I can kill these bikes. Yes, we did it. We did it, Reddit. We got him with the explosion. Exactly what we wanted. And now we can obelisk, and maybe the obelisk can kill. No, the stealth tank doesn't move forward, so we can't kill. We can't kill the stealth tank. That is annoying. All right, well, rip. But we got beaten up by some catalyst gunships. How many gunships on this board right now? My opponent seems to have made triple catalyst gunship. He's going for my base. Unfortunately, I have a stealth tank, so I don't think it's.
Our base is under attack.
Just not that good against base, honestly. Like, it doesn't do that much structure damage.
Defense online.
Alright, we got him. We got him, boys.
Nuclear warhead launched. Enemy base destroyed. Three, two, one. New mission received.
Alright, so now we're going up against Gary, the infamous zone trooper player. Now, the Catalyst Gunship is actually very good versus zones, hopefully. So I haven't tested that much of... I haven't retested boosted zones versus it. So I'm not 100% sure how this is going to go when he's playing Jackson zones. Because it does die to free zone trooper shots. So boosted zones are going to take it down a lot quicker. There's the second half, which we're going to try and block. Alright, got him. Alright, well, he's gonna go drone storm because that's what he always does. Yep, there it is. So I've already got bikes on the way. And he probably just makes another drone swarm. Yep, there it is. And it's Gary. Once you know his exact play pattern, because he does it every single game he plays, it's a little bit easier to preempt it. Now he's gonna go into zone trooper. We're gonna have the Catalyst Gunship ready to go.
specimen. Let's displace them. And bomb
Rip them apart.
air missile, you're gonna brain them. Launchers will procure the boss. Never-ending launchers will bust their dial. Chemist moving location.
Zones.
Unit ready.
Flying out.
Let's watch the Catalyst gunship fight the boosted zones. Yeah, boosted zones do a lot better against it, like substantially better. Unboosted zones would lose if they attack into a Catalyst gunship.
Yes, Commander.
Boosted zones wins pretty comfortably. We're gonna send another gunship at the zones.
On my way.
Yeah, Gary weeping salty tears right now as gunships annihilate his favorite unit in the game.
Science is power.
uh,
Let's displace them. Flying out. As you yes. Combustion.
Alright, I think we got him, boys.
Problem.
I think we got him.
Gonna brain them. Missiles.
Here comes an Orca Bomber for some reason. I'm gonna put an obelisk down, let him know.
Unit offline. Mission accomplished. 3, 2.
Alright, so we're gonna go again against Gary. I'm gonna try it again.
Harvester ready.
Time he's gone rifles first, we're gonna let him charge.
Or can destroy the GDI.
We're gonna play the stupid charging dance, which is what happens against every tech player in the game.
Militia here.
Always what you do.
Destroy that. What's needed. Destroy
Alright, so we're on both the pads. We're on both the pads.
Kill the unbelievers. Bring them to their knees.
Now he's obviously gonna tech switch into drones, because again, that's what Gary does. He does every single game he's ever played in his entire life. Oh, he hasn't gone for the drones yet, okay.
Destroy. We're ready to destroy. Militia here.
We'll make another rifleman.
Unit offline.
Important thing is to remain on these pads. I really want to make a chem warrior, but I need to be able to make bites if the drones arrive.
Suffer. Kill the unbelievers. Bring them to the no stop.
There they are, so we'll make the bites and send the rifles up this way.
Launchers will bust their dial. Gonna brain them. Missiles.
There's an Orca Bomber, so we'll make a stealth tank. Gary has recently started playing Orca Bomber as well. He thinks it can let him win first missile.
Unit offline.
Stay quiet. Kill them all. Revving.
Unit ready.
I think it costs him a lot of money. That's my take on it. I think it costs him lots of money. He thinks it'll win in the first missile. I think it means his zone trooper is later. So it does stall the missile. It's very hard to win a missile quickly against an Orca Bomber. So maybe it's worth it. I don't know yet. Alright, so now we have to go after his harvesters. We basically just need pop cap now because he's gonna make zones soon. So I don't actually want to kill his harvester that badly. I just want to trade off my units so that I can make I want to force him to kill my units so that I can make catalyst gunships when zones come out. That's basically all I'm doing here. A mammoth tank. Alright, cool. Well, I mean, I have Kane. That's my only answer to mammoth tank. We're gonna have to use Kane.
Defense online.
Obviously, Kane not that good against mammoth because it only shoots once before the mammoth kills it. So yeah, mammoth tank is insane versus Kane. Luckily, we have so much money that we can afford to throw units at it until it dies, and we preserved our chemical warriors so we can fight these missiles as well. I really need bites now to fight the drone swarm. There's another Orca Bomber, so we're going to suicide these rifles to trigger it. I'm going to spam some bikes up top to fight to contest the pad. Yeah, I mean, I don't really like the Orca Bomber that much in Gary's deck, obviously. What a stupid unit. What an absolutely ridiculous. Who designed this thing? Like, seriously. Okay, well, there go the Orca Bombers. Now we just block him out on the pads. I'll obelisk again to kill these missiles. Okay, Gary down once again. Didn't see any zone troopers that time, so we didn't get to see the catalyst gunship on.
You are victorious.